What's good, people? It's your boy Les from the St. Jean family and also from Let's Do React, and welcome back to the channel. I appreciate you guys for stopping by and rocking with your boy, man, and I pray that you guys are having a beautiful day today as well. And what we have today, this is the creepiest thing that you'll ever see. But before we jump into this video, if this is your first time stopping by, subscribe to the channel, man. Give this video a like. You'll be doing me a favor, and at the same time, you'll be helping me out. And if you haven't already, like this video for your boy, man. So go and get your popcorn and let's get it.
High-end fashion designer Balenciaga recently posted on their Twitter feed a photo shoot of a little girl carrying a teddy bear dressed up in BDSM pornographic attire, which literally glorifies sexual violence. And just so you know that this wasn't some type of silly mistake, in the photos there was imagery of documentation on the United States versus William case, which had to deal with upholding child pornography law.
Consider the latest ad for the clothing brand Balenciaga. This was just uploaded on Instagram. As you can see, the photo shoot they're using to sell their products features a young girl holding a teddy bear in a bondage outfit. Then, in case you missed the point, the photo shoot also contains this image. It shows several documents. Most of them aren't visible, but what you can see when you zoom in, and of course the point is that you see it, is a reference to a U.S. Supreme Court case called Ashcroft versus Free Speech Coalition. That case struck down a law against kiddie porn. What is this?
Wow, that's disturbing, man. You see that, man? These are the things that's going on in this world, man. That's disgusting, man. And a lot of you guys, y'all buying this stuff, man. You know, that's crazy, man. That's crazy, man. But we got to go ahead and pray for them, man. But at the same time, you know what I often tell you guys? If you agree, comment down below and let me know. All right, let's go.
Kim Kardashian, as a mother and also a brand ambassador for Balenciaga, would come out and criticize them for that horrible ad.
You know what celebrity should be speaking out on this? Kim Kardashian. She's one of the many faces of Balenciaga. She drips herself in it head to toe. The Kim Kardashian that says that Ye is crazy when he rants against the fact that he believes that his children are being exposed to pornography, right? That he believes that his children are being sexualized. She says that's crazy and that's rantings. Okay, well, Kim, where's your voice? Do you have that voice? Are you too afraid not to be invited to the Vogue parties? Are you too afraid not to be invited to Balenciaga's show?
Yes, sir.
Where is your voice? To me, it's noticeably absent. And this is what it means to be in Hollywood, right?
It's right in your face and no one's saying anything.
The love of money would not allow them to say anything that would jeopardize their status and their comfort on earth. Listen very carefully to what this world-renowned fashion photographer, Miss Harriman, had to say about that.
I've had a lot of messages saying you need to see what's going on with Balenciaga. I have. And as a photographer that's worked with many brands in the fashion industry, I'm utterly horrified. And I'm angry. I know how many steps you go through as a photographer to get the client to approve images. I know how many adult eyes have to look at images for them to be printed, especially for a retail campaign where you're selling the products online. This gift shop shoot by Balenciaga is abhorrent. And those babies, those children who were not protected, I don't know where the parents were, but I do know that those children were not protected.
Shame, man. That's
so you could sell your products. The fashion industry needs to do something about this.
I absolutely agree with this, man. See, the thing is that, like I said, many of us, man, we go out and we go ahead and buy stuff because it's trending. It's the trend now. And they want to fit in and all that. And, you know, like the scripture tells us, man, friends with the world is enmity with God. And sad to say, this is true. This is what's going on. And, you know, he just put it out on blast. He just let you know what's actually going on. And it's sad for the kids, man, that, you know, their parents are not protecting them. And kids are, you know, we, as parents, I'm a parent myself, you know, we are our children protectors, you know. And to see these foolery, these things that's going on out here, man, it's crazy, man. If you guys agree, man, comment down below and let's go.
The owner of Balenciaga, carrying all the way up to the CEO, to the owner, Francois Pinault, need to do something about this. The idea that any products for children are being sold now on the website of Balenciaga is an affront to those children that were not protected. This is unacceptable, and I don't care if I never shoot for anyone in this industry again. Children.
For real, man.
We're talking about. To my friends that have any contacts in the fashion industry, do the right thing and speak to the people that can do something about this. An Instagram apology and yes, we're investigating is not enough. This is an alarm for the industry. Amen. Where are we going? Where our most precious are being used for what? At what cost? No. Unacceptable.
Of all the things that disturb me in this culture, of all the horrific, sinful, wretched, wicked, corrupt influences that go on in this culture, I think the thing that distresses me most is the war on children.
The Bible instructs us that children are to be cherished, loved, protected, and raised in the knowledge of Holy Scripture and fear of the Lord. The world and this culture, however, sacrifice millions of children to Molech, and for those that manage to survive out of the womb, they set out a demonic agenda to pervert their minds. Multi-billion-dollar media corporations such as Disney have set out a dark and evil plan to get the children's mind and bend them to embrace deviant sexual behaviors at an age as early as possible.
This culture is weaponized to destroy children. It's systematically designed to do that. 62.5 million of them have been slaughtered in the womb since Roe versus Wade in the 70s.
There used to be a limit at which people would halt their sexual lust when it comes to children. There used to be a sense of protection for children about 30 to 40 years ago. There were some things that children weren't allowed to see or even thought of being a part of. How schools and education system made an effort to teach kids what they were supposed to be learning in schools. Teachers really played their role as teachers and educators. However, for the past decades or so, all of that has drastically changed.
Once again, as you can see, man, look on Disney, man. Disney have their own little hidden agenda that was going on, man. They actually pushing these things in front of our kids' face, man. They're actually, you know what I'm saying, telling them to go ahead and join these gay pride parades and stuff like that. They masquerading these stuff, pushing it in front of our kids, man. You know, decentralizing, you know, having them to, making them believe that this is a norm, which is not, you know. And you can actually look at the commercials that's out right now. You know, you see two men kissing. You know, it was a point of time when things like that would, if it was a taboo at once, but now it's just straight out. You know, even me, I cringe when I see things like that, man. And I'm sorry, man. If you guys don't like what I'm saying, man, jump off, man. Hey, you know, hey, my scriptures say, man, it is not right, you know. That's an abomination, you know. You see there's two of the same sex, you know, kissing in broad 8 in the morning. You see commercial now, it's just put out there for our kids to take it in, you know. It's crazy, man. But if you guys agree with this, man, comment down below and let's go.
Schools are now training grounds to enforce homosexual and transsexual ideologies in children's minds, and teachers are no longer teaching that which would elevate their thinking and get them to be useful contributors of our society. Rather, they're pushing LGBTQ ideologies on our children. What exactly happened to our society? Isn't there any consideration for the little ones? What happened to our moral values? There was a time when God was revered in the halls of our schools. There was a time where people would not make a mockery of God publicly. There was an era in which this country seemed to have a sense of spiritual clarity. The Democratic Party, for example, was never a proponent of sexual deviance, and the Republican Party upheld biblical values up to a certain extent. All of that is gone and erased from the core foundations of this nation. We no longer trust in God. As a matter of fact, we as a nation are happy to curse God and get him out of everything that we do. And it saddens my heart to say it, but the truth is the truth. This is what happens when you live in a society dominated by evil and people who only care about making money even at the expense of the little ones.
As you know, our country, the politicians who lead it, are making laws that are devastating to children. Under the pressure of sexual freedom, homosexuality, transgenderism, the desire is to make that normal and to punish people who speak against it with laws in the category of hate speech. Music producers, movie makers, social media providers, big tech.
For real.
You name it. They literally pump out things that destroy children.
This is a vivid example of the reprobate mind that the Apostle Paul talks about in Romans chapter 1. For the wrath of God is revealed from heaven against all ungodliness and unrighteousness of people who suppress the truth in unrighteousness, because that which is known about God is evident within them, for God made it evident to them. For since the creation of the world, his invisible attributes, that is, his eternal power and divine nature, have been clearly perceived, being understood by what has been made, so that they are without excuse. For even though they knew God, they did not honor him as God, or give thanks, but they became futile in their reasonings, and their senseless hearts were darkened. Claiming to be wise, they became fools, and they exchanged the glory of the incorruptible God for an image in the form of corruptible mankind, of birds, four-footed animals, and crawling creatures. Therefore God gave them up to vile impurity in the lust of their hearts, so that their bodies would be dishonored among them. They are lost in their wickedness, trapped in their lust, and bound for hell. They have a mind that is so depraved and reprobate, although they may have attained the highest level of education, attended the most prestigious schools and universities in the world, hold a PhD, and wrote many books, and with all of that knowledge they reject God and try to normalize their deviant, dark, and sinful behavior, and they all in unison are glad to bow down to the God of this world, Satan.
Hey,
Children
man.
are under a
Well said, guy. Well said, my guy. Man, see, the thing is, guys, you have to remember that we live in a world where, I've mentioned this before, that men don't like to be told what to do. When I say man, meaning mankind, you know, who like to be told? I'm pretty sure some of you guys, when y'all go to work and your supervisor, your manager probably, you know, direct you, instruct you to do something, and something that's pretty much out of what you're, out of your job description, you're going to look at them like they're crazy, Men don't like being told what to do, and especially men in this society would rather a God that they can control, that they can, manipulate, a God that they can tell what to do, not their God telling them what to do. So this is the life that we're living, guys, man. And sad to say, but this is the facts and this is the truth, man. So if you agree, man, comment down below. Let me know what's your take on it. Let's go.
Relentless assault by all the forces of evil. And they are defenseless. And we have a society and a culture that wants to make sure that these who are pumping out this destruction are free to keep doing it without restraint.
Amen.
Children are defenseless.
They're vulnerable, man.
When their parents sell them to a human trafficker who drops them 8 to 10 feet over a wall into Sodom and Gomorrah all by themselves. Or when the Disney Corporation creates characters that are transgender to seduce children into accepting wickedness as normal. Or when parents insanely offer their children gender identity options. Children are under assault now. The government wants to even have more influence on them. So the president announced that they would like to provide government education free of charge from the age of 3 to 20.
And that is exactly the power that sin holds over men of all tongues, tribes, and nations. Sin is a killer, my friend. Sin pollutes the mind, twists the tongue, poisons the heart, darkens the understanding, and renders you totally hopeless. Sin chains the soul in vices and binds the spirit in darkness and enslaves your entire being to fleshly desires. The Apostle James says, "Come near to God, and he will come near to you. Wash your hands, you sinners, and purify your hearts, you double-minded. Grieve, mourn, and wail. Change your laughter to mourning and your joy to gloom. Humble yourselves before the Lord, and he will lift you up." These people cannot help themselves, and things will go from bad to worse, for they refuse to humble themselves before God. They murder millions in a room for the sake of political power, and they are now on a quest to pervert the minds of those that they did not get in the room. I need you to understand that this is not just politicians and millionaires being greedy. This is spiritual warfare. This is Satan murdering and killing through the agency of of sinful, greedy, and reprobate men across the world. Jesus said in John chapter 8, evil men are of the father the devil, because they are liars and murderers, like the devil who was a liar and a murderer from the beginning. The Bible warns us in Isaiah chapter 44 that this is exactly what would happen when a nation abandons the way of the Lord and given themselves over to idolatry and immorality, where money is their god and the majority of those who ought to know better are completely deluded by their sexual deviancy. They do not know the day discern, for he has shut their eyes so that they cannot see, and their heart so that they cannot understand. No one considers, nor is there knowledge or discernment. As much as I am questioning their reasoning, the Bible tells us that they do these things because God has given them over. It is a sad reality when a person is at a point of no return.
Agree, guys, man. I agree with this gentleman, man, this brother, 100 on this right here. Man, if you guys agree with what was said, because our scriptures goes in depth, and it's in the good book. It's in our scriptures, in our Bibles, guys. So, guys, man, I'm not going to go ahead and take this video any further. I'm going to go ahead and end it off right here. If you found this video helpful, delightful, informative, hey, give it a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. You'll be helping me out, man. So I'm going to go ahead and leave it off. And like I always tell you, no Christ, no life. So live life for Christ. Peace.